safari, on safari. Let's find out what it's all about. On safari, on safari. We're on to something because the place is jumping.
Hello, folks. This is your host, Tammy Turner, and you are now listening to the Tiara Talk Show. We bring you rare interviews with the makers of Disney magic. Whether they be singers, actors, Imagineers, animators, they've all made their mark on the Disney name. To find out more about the show and other episodes, head to our official website at www.thetiaratalkshow.com. Be sure to look below at the show notes in the Show More section for links to our Twitter and Facebook pages, including videos and websites mentioned in the following interview. Photos and audio clips that are featured in the show belong to their rightful owners and are used for educational purposes only. All guest opinions are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the opinions of the Tiara Talk Show or the host. The Tiara Talk Show is not associated with the Disney Company. Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode, and from all of us here at the Tiara Talk Show, have a hoop-de-doo day.
It's hard to say just what's gonna happen. On safari, on safari. Let's find out what it's all about.
Starting in 1986, the Walt Disney Company began releasing a new home video series called Disney's Sing-Along Songs. Whether you watch them on the VHS tapes or on a Laserdisc, you couldn't help but sing along with your favorite Disney songs, from A Whole New World to Under the Sea and so many others. Some of my favorite sing-alongs were the ones that we got a sneak peek of the latest Disney park. The last live-action Disney sing-along was made in 1999, celebrating the opening of a new park called Animal Kingdom. Today, I am welcomed by the cast of Disney's sing-along FLIK'S Musical Adventure. First, we have Amie, who is, as Flick says, is always thinking ahead.
Hello, this is Amie.
And we have Brittany, who's as enthusiastic about everything.
Hi, everybody, it's Brittany.
We have Dominique, who's always a couple steps behind from the group.
Hey, it's Dominique.
We have Kalina, who always loves taking pictures and always comes prepared.
Hey everyone, this is Kalina.
We have Justin. He has more than his share of energy.
Hi, this is Justin.
We have Thea, who always wants to be the center of attention.
Hi, how are you? This is Thea.
And then we have Joshua, who probably tried on 20 hats before he picked one for the interview, right?
Yeah, I couldn't make up my mind.
So anyways, welcome guys. You are here at the Tiara Talk Show. And I'm more than excited because I was telling you before we started the interview that I was around the same age that you guys were when you were filming this, and when it came out, I was hooting and hollering because I loved it, because they had a Blizzard Beach Typhoon Lagoon one, and they didn't come out with one until 4 years later, and this was the last one, so I was having a ball with this one, just watching it at home. So I really wanted to know, how did each of you become attached to this specific project, because it looks like all of you guys were Orlando residents, which is maybe another reason that the casting agency chose you guys. Amie, do you want to start?
Yes, I actually was able to be a part of this just through local auditioning in the area. I would have been on different calls for different things in the local area, and since we have so many theme parks and different attractions in the Orlando area, this was just one of the projects that I auditioned for and ended up getting.
I started dancing when I was 3 years old, so pretty much since then I was just auditioning for any gigs that came in the area, and this happened to be one that came in the Orlando area for a theme park that I adore, so I had to try out an audition, and I got the role, which was just amazing. So
Yeah, pretty much the same on my end. I'm originally from North Florida, so I would do a lot of auditioning in Orlando. And then I went on this particular audition, and it went really well, and I ended up getting it, and it was a lot of fun. Glad I got to do it.
Oh, mine's pretty much the same as the others. I'm from Tampa, so I did a lot of auditioning in Orlando, and I think, if I remember correctly, there's like a couple of us that used to just always, since we're all around the same age group, we did a couple different auditions together, so I was happy to get this job.
Yeah, my story's kind of the same with everyone else. It was just, I was going about and they got a call for an audition, and I went in and I lucked out. I got the part.
Yeah, I'm also from Tampa. Kalina and I were childhood best friends, so we used to drive to Orlando, which is about 2 hours away together. And sometimes when we got really lucky, we would both get the part.
It's kind of serendipitous that way. So that's how I became involved in this project.
You know, it was weird. I had gotten a call to come in and audition for a Disney sing-along. I mean, I was excited. It was actually my first chance to do something with Disney, and when I went in, did my casting call, they actually had me do a little, I don't know, it was a little song. They had me come up with 30 seconds of singing in front of the cast director. I can't remember their names, but I remember it was pretty exciting and a little embarrassing, doing some singing and dancing in front of them, but it went well, and I'm glad I did it.
Do you guys remember when and how long it took to film all the live action sequences you guys starred in?
I'm not sure about how long it took, but I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 days, roughly. But it wasn't really too bad. I mean, we all, like they said, had been going to auditions together for a long time. This was definitely not the first time that I had seen most of them. So we would just hang out in the down times. But it did, I think, take about 3 or 4 days to film all the live action scenes.
I remember I was in 3rd grade and I got to skip some classes, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, I remember it roughly being about a week long, maybe a little less. So I wasn't mad about leaving school.
I wasn't complaining much myself, you know. Got some free time and, you know, got to hang out with some cool people and get to dance and wander around the amusement park for free.
And you got to ride a lot of rides, right? Did you guys get to ride them all the time?
Yes, we were some of the first people to ever ride them, they told us, because they opened the park up for us before the actual Orlando area got to get in the park.
Yeah, I remember we went on the safari ride, but I think that we did it before it had been completely finished.
Yeah.
And it was very exciting for us. We thought we were gonna like have the crazy encounter with a lion or something.
Yeah, I remember thinking that this is Amie. I remember thinking that there's going to be a huge lion that was going to jump out. But as far as the ride, I remember the dinosaur ride specifically because I was so terrified. I was actually originally placed in the very front seat, but I was too scared, and they had to stop the entire production. I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but I was terrified, and so they had to stop everything and try to convince me to go on this ride. And, you know, I already knew that with filming, I was going to have to go on this thing like 20 times in a row, and I was scared to death. But once I went the first time, I just was ready to go all the other times. I loved it, and they could barely get me off of it. So that was a fond memory of mine. I remember being terrified, but overall, I was fine after I went down the first time.
So they didn't tell you what to expect on the ride, right? Because I'm kind of that is a very scary ride.
That ride was scary. And if you see our expressions, this is Brittany, and I know my expression in the video clips, that was a genuine scared expression because we had no idea what to expect. So
yeah. If you look, when I'm going, I guess, down the fall or the dinosaur comes out, I actually duck down underneath the seat for a quick second because I was honestly terrified.
That's right, you did do that. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember whenever I wrote it, if you watch, I have my arms up by my ears because it was really loud the entire time.
Oh, it is.
So it looks like
that,
I'm terrified. Yeah, it looks like I'm really, really scared, but it was actually just really loud. So that's how I coped.
That was one of the scariest rides, and I don't know why, but for some reason there was at one point this like T-Rex-like looking thing that bends right down into the car that we were riding in, and it just terrified me. I hated it, but we had to do it over and over, and I could not wait for that to be over.
Yeah, especially because you're in the dark and it's loud from behind and forward because they don't want you to know where the T-Rex is. Because that's one of my favorite rides in Animal Kingdom, and I love going on it, but I remember the first time I went on it, I'm like, oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I remember it was called Countdown to Extinction whenever we went on it, but now it's called Dinosaur. But I always call it Countdown to Extinction.
It was called Countdown to Extinction.
So did they have the sign Countdown to Extinction on the front before Dinosaur? Because they switched the signs. I remember that happened like during the first year.
I'm pretty sure it said...
Yeah, I think it's because...
Yeah, the sign was right up there. It was like real big letters, and it said, you know, Countdown to Extinction. And we all saw it. We were like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a scary title.
I think...
Well, I
They
just
changed
remember.
it because of the Disney movie Dinosaur, I think. Like, they named it after the movie that Disney came out with.
Yeah,
I think is why they changed it.
yeah, and I think that's a good idea to change the name because on no Disney ride do you die except Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, where you go to hell. So I don't know. That's a good idea that they changed it. And Felicia Rashad, I was kind of bummed because I wanted her to save us at the end.
I just didn't think that the
Yeah.
T-Rex was going to stop coming down. I mean, it just looked like it was going to eat your head off, and that's what was so terrifying. It just kept
Oh, yeah.
coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they
best
got it
part
on
was
that
the
one.
blow at the end where the T-Rex blew in your face, and they got that on the video of us. So
Yeah, they did. I mean, it just came like right down. You didn't know when it was going to stop, and just bam. It's like, oh.
Oh my god. And it's just you kids on the ride. It's not like you have an adult on there with you. That's just terrifying to me.
Yeah, and they would stop it in the middle of the dark periods and the dark spaces, and there'd be no one there. And so we were looking for each other for comfort and for protection because it was just so dark. And of course, you still have the flashing strobe lights and the T-Rex in the shadows, and you know, it was. We knew that it was fake, but it kind of seemed scary still.
Oh, you poor
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, when we first went on it, they didn't tell us anything about it. It was like, yeah, you're gonna get on this ride, and we're just gonna film it. That's the only thing they told us. And then we go down, and bam, this T-Rex comes out at us.
Oh my goodness. That's
genuine scared expressions. That was genuine.
Well, now you know
Yeah.
what ride to take your kids on when you first go to Animal Kingdom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just put them in the front row on the right-hand side, because that's where the big T-Rex comes out at you and really screams with the photo and everything. Anywho.
That's exactly where I was sitting.
Oh, really? Oh, you
This is
lucky
Brittany,
person,
yeah.
you.
That was exactly my spot, front right. So there you go. Don't sit there. Warning.
Well, if you go to Disneyland, go on the Indiana Jones ride. It's the same exact thing, but much more elaborate. And you get one of the cars has a wheel in the front, unlike the dinosaur one. So sit in front of that one, and then you'll get the ultimate scared experience. Because that's what I did, and I went, ah.
I haven't done that one.
Oh, it's so much fun. You have to save Indiana. And there's a YouTube video. They promoted it kind of the same way they did with the Disney Sing-Along, where they had Marion, Karen Allen, who played Marion in the original film, and John Rhys-Davies, who played Sala in the first film and the third film. They both went on the ride, and they filmed them on the ride as well. And it's their genuine reactions to the ride, too. It's a scary ride, though, because you're getting cursed to death. Like, this guy's trying to curse you and everything.
Wow.
And then you have to save Indiana. It's really, really cool. It's almost the same exact layout as Dinosaur, too. So, but
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
yeah, so when you go down, you have to let me know. You have to send me an email and be like, hey, Tammy, it was good.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. So, were each of you asked to record and sing the songs that were made for, especially for the video, like "Welcome to Harambe"? Because they have children singing in the background. But I'm just curious if you guys are just cast as actors or actors and singers.
Yeah, we're actually not singing. We were just, in the actual video. And if you look closely on the pictures that are actually on the video case, that is not us either. Those are different kids.
Yeah.
Which was
Yeah.
curious. I looked at that and I went, why?
Yeah, that's
They
definitely,
look like us.
that's not us
But
on the front, but on the back it is us. So that's kind of weird. On the front cover, that's not any of us, but on the back there's some different clips from the actual filming. That is all of us. So that was kind of weird when it came out. I remember actually going into the Disney store in the mall when it came out, and I was looking at it. I'm like, that's not me. I mean, it kind of resembles me, but I'm like, that's definitely not me. And then I looked at all the other people on the front. I'm like, yeah, that's not anybody that was in the cast. So yeah, we didn't do any of the audio recording as far as the songs or most of the picture on the front.
Yep.
It was just really curious that they didn't use your photos. I guess it might have been papers that you signed and just said, we can't use your photo, but then on the back it's fine. I guess because people don't really look on the back. They look at the first half of the product, in the front. So, but that's sad because I was looking at photos to add to this video, and that was probably the only one I could possibly find that had very nice resolution, but none of you guys are on the front cover, so it makes
No,
no
we're not
sense
on.
to use it.
nope, that's not us.
No, we're not on the
they
front
kind
cover.
of look like us, but it's not us.
So were any of the dance sequences choreographed on set, or were they choreographed prior to filming?
From my memory, I'm pretty sure they were done on set because I have no recollection of actually practicing those before the filming. You know, everyone else can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that we kind of just learned it right then and there. I think they had a choreographer on set that taught us, but we didn't do it prior.
This is Brittany. I do remember the dinosaur dance where we had the bats. That was our audition dance, actually, or a clip of that was in our audition, which is kind of cool.
I didn't remember that. I did not remember doing the dance before. And I actually, when I was watching the video, this is Amie, I was trying to remember, when did I learn these dances? But I guess maybe in the audition.
Yeah, this is Justin. I remember that we didn't learn all the choreography on set. We learned a couple numbers on set, but most of what we had to do was like practice beforehand because they wanted to make sure we could do it when we got there.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember being in a big dance studio whenever we would learn. I can't remember which dance in particular, but I remember that there was like a big pile up at the end, and everybody like fell on each other, and we were like laughing.
It was the walk the dinosaur dance.
Yeah,
that was the one that we did. Practice, and actually had a little bit in our audition. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
Yes.
That song still plays in the dinosaur area, Dinosaur USA.
Does it really?
Yeah, like when
Really?
you're eating in the restaurant and you're just sitting there, it's like Rex and Chester's, I think, or something like that, and it just plays that, and then it plays The End of the World as you, but all songs that are kind of related to dinosaurs.
Oh, funny.
That dance was one of the funnest ones for sure, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
We had a good time with that one.
Yeah,
I just love the outfits. We didn't know we were going to wear those outfits. Those were cute.
The kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, sorry, this is Thea. I definitely remember rehearsing a couple of dance numbers, particularly the one where we had some really, it seemed very complicated at the time, like kicking combination. We would have to kick in between each other's legs.
Yes.
I remember that.
I only remember it because of the bruises, but
I remember that was so hard. We could not get it down. If most of us got it down, one person was off, and then when that person got it, somebody else was off, and so I remember we just had to keep doing that over and over.
Yes, I think that one took like the most time for us to actually get it right because, like you said, one person would get it, and somebody else would end up messing up.
The good thing is Boneyard is still there, folks, so when you go, you can hang out in the Boneyard and do the dance.
Maybe we should all meet up there and do the dance one more time for laughs.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're actually going back to the Walk the Dinosaur scene. You can clearly see some extra kids in the cast, as well as the safari part. And you can see some of them in close-up saying like, yeah, okay, let's go. So did they originally, these other kids, did they originally have bigger parts, or were they just there as extras?
No, this is Justin. I remember that 3 of the kids that you see are actually just backup dancers. But one of the kids you see, the extra one in the safari ride, I remember this very clearly. It was the producer's daughter. She whined and cried the whole time until she was allowed to get on the ride because she wanted to join us so bad. And he kept telling her no. And then I can remember his wife looking at him like, you better let her on that ride. So then he let her on, so she was in the scene with us.
That's incredible that you remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
Something like that. Not until you just said it, but that sounds vaguely familiar now.
Yeah, we did have backup dancers, but I know us specifically, we were cast as the quote-unquote principal dancers. So some of them in some of the scenes were also dancers, but it was us specifically that they, pulled to the forefront for a lot of parts.
Yeah.
I remember that set up such a strange dynamic for children to sort of wrap their head around. Because there were principals. I think that there were 3 principals, and then there were like 3 supporting principal children among the 6 of us, if you will. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Yeah, some of you guys had more lines than the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
But then there was like a 3rd tier of children.
Yeah, there
which
was
is a really
like
brutal way to put it, but
There was like us in the main cast, and then there were the other dancers who I remember we would see them like for some scenes, but they weren't there for the majority of the time, and they were mostly there just like to fill in crowd stuff. I remember in like the parade section, two like strangers that I'd never seen before were standing on either side of me, rather than like us main six, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. But yeah, I remember they were there mostly just to fill in and make like certain scenes look bigger and more full.
Yeah, that's exactly why they were there. This is Justin. Like you were saying, they were just thrown in at extra times, like Walk the Dinosaur Scene. That's when they're in there too. And then when we were doing the one dance routine on the bridge,
Yeah.
they were there too. They were the ones swinging like on the bridge, just back and forward.
And then also on the safari ride to fill up the extra space. So it seemed like the times that there was a lot of extra space, they used them to kind of fill that in as fillers. So.
Mm-hmm.
Smart
thinking.
thinking.
I think you're right.
Really nice. I remember I liked them. They were like nice people.
Yeah, they were really nice.
Sure.
And they're
Cool
not
kids.
credited on the tape, though.
I noticed that.
No way.
The backup dancers are credited on the tape, but I don't like know where any of them are right now, though.
Oh, okay. So I thought they were the monkey backup dancers. Sorry.
No. The ones that were in the monkey suits, those were actual performers at the theme park themselves.
The Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know for sure because they credit either the group who sings in the little village as both singing groups, so I didn't know if they were actually part of the Disney cast or not, and especially with the monkeys. And Chakotay. Chakotay is your tour guide. In the beginning, she has one line, and then she's gone.
I love her.
Yeah.
She was a
She
doll.
really
I love
nice.
her.
I remember I was just mesmerized by her accent. I just loved listening to her talk.
She was so nice. I liked her.
Did she work? Do you know she worked there, or was it just another casting?
No, it was another casting call for her because my mom talked with her a lot on the break time, and she told her that she's actually like a hairdresser. Well, I don't know if she still is now, but at the time she was, and that was just like an extra casting call she got, so she came in for it.
Oh, that's really nice because I saw she has the name. She has a Disney name tag, so it looked really official. So I was like, is she actually a real cast member? Maybe not. That's really cool. But she has one line, and I feel so bad because I feel like they filmed a lot of parts with the humans, and then Flick took over, and that was the end of that.
Yeah. When I first got to watch it, I noticed like Flick was everywhere. I'm like, I don't remember that, but then they probably did that when we weren't there because a lot of the small stuff you see just pop up everywhere. I'm like, I don't remember that.
I didn't know there was anything about Flick to do with it. I thought we were just in Animal Kingdom.
This
But
is
then
Amy.
here's
Yeah.
Flick.
I thought the same. It was a surprise when we first watched the video that Flick was even on there. We had no idea.
Because they have that nighttime song with all the Lion King cast, and that definitely is the cast from the Lion King show that's at, Animal Kingdom. But I was curious because you guys should be in the ending song because you were in the beginning song.
This is Brittany, and I actually remember that last song. We had done the song right before the last song, all through the night, and then that last song they did after it. And I remember that ran till late in the morning. I want to say like 2 or 3. If anybody remembers that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say it lasted till pretty late. So they let us go, and then they had that rest of that. Those older, it was the Lion King dancers close it out, I believe, which is weird to think about.
This is Amy, and I think it was actually much later than that. I think it was like till 3 or 4 in the morning. I remember that we had been doing different scenes all day long. I remember that I was exhausted, and we were just watching them film that over and over. I mean, it was great. The singers were wonderful, but I was just so tired by that time that I just wanted to go home.
Yeah, this is Justin. I agree with you, Amy, because I think I remember that too. It was like we had been going all day, and we're all tired. They're trying to keep us awake by giving us little snacks here and there. We're like, no, it's not working. I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep.
I think they kept us there so long because they didn't know if they might need us here or they might need us there, and so they didn't want to send us home just to have a whole another day of filming or something. So they just kind of kept us around in all hours of the night until they were for sure that they were done using us.
I was surprised they could do that with child labor laws, which were definitely in place during that.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because we weren't like actively working until 4 in the morning. Like they would only need us for a couple of minutes, and then we'd be off on the side or backstage, like with our parents there the entire time. So it's not like they had us with our noses to the grindstone till 4 a.m. We were just sleepy kids backstage until 4 a.m.
Yeah, Dominique's right.
Yeah, it'd be on and off. We'd be on the set for maybe an hour, and then off, and then maybe 2 hours, and then off. And then we'd have a lunch break, and then we'd have snacks, and we'd be back on another area, ride the safari, take a break, go on the dinosaur ride, take a break. So, like they were saying, it wasn't straight through.
Yeah, and I remember those Lion King dancers were amazing too, but that scene, for some reason, was taking so long at the end. Those last 2 songs.
It must have been the lip syncing, because you can clearly see when they sing He Lives in You that the lead singer is not in sync with the lead singer's voice on the audio copy.
Actually, fun fact about that, I didn't remember this, but my mom remembered, and she told me, you see that whenever they sing the second to last song and then the last song, there are 2 different singers. It's because the woman who they had initially singing didn't know the words to one of the songs, and so they replaced her with another woman. They were like, you don't know what you're doing. Other girl, move forward and sing it. So she kind of got kicked out of her job halfway through.
Wow, I did not know that.
I remember
That's
that.
why it took so long.
Yeah.
Very good lesson to us all to be prepared.
Very much so, very much so.
Yeah. They're not playing games behind the scenes.
But they're very nice.
This is Amie. I remember that they took really great care of us. We had any and every kind of snack that we could ever imagine. We got to see a lot of sneak peek behind the scenes stuff, and we got extra time with Mickey and Minnie, which is like almost unheard of to see them together in the parks. We got to see the orangutans, and we weren't filming. I remember that any of the characters were so great, and they never kind of turned off their professional switch, and they always were in character on and off the camera. The orangutans would still goof around and dance with us, which those orangutans, I remember, I just thought that they were just amazing.
Oh, yes.
And so funny, and those long arms slinging around, and, you know, we would love being around them. And I actually remember Thea when she was dancing in the middle of the orangutans, and I wanted to be there so bad because she was in the middle of all of them. And I actually distinctly remember when Brittany was mimicking the chalk drawing of the gorilla. Those were 2 distinct memories that I had. When I saw the video, I actually remember watching those being filmed.
That was fun.
It's funny because you're talking about all of these things that you remember, and one of the only things I can really remember is the really, really cute prop master.
Oh my god!
I think I remember you liking him, Thea. This is Amie. Do you know what his name was, Thea?
Not a clue.
His name was RJ.
What?
Is he in the credits?
That's so funny.
We need to stalk him and find him in the credits if he's in there.
Absolutely.
And if you want to know, my mom was in love with him as well, so she would think you have good taste.
I think everyone loved him.
Okay, what did he look like? Well, I need to hear now.
Looks like Tarzan a little bit.
Maybe I should ask my mom because she was just in love with him. This is Amie, but he had kind of dark curly hair with these big curls, and he was young, but he was old enough that we probably shouldn't even been looking at him in any sort of way. But I do remember that he was really nice to us and really friendly, and I really do remember Thea just being in love with him, just like drooling over this guy. He had to been like 25 to 30, I think, at the time. But yeah, he was a cutie. He was cute.
And Amie, this is Brittany. That's so funny that you remember the gorilla scene when I was in front of the chalkboard, because I remember at first I was terrified to do that scene. I don't even know why, but I think because we were all together so much, and then they're like, okay, we need you to do this scene. I was terrified for a second. They wanted me to act like a gorilla, and I was like, okay. But it ended up being really fun. I want to say I was the youngest girl, and I know, Dominique, weren't you the youngest of all of us?
Yeah, I was 6 years old whenever I did that. I just turned 21 on the 5th, so.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Happy
congratulations.
birthday!
Happy birthday, Dominique.
Thank you. But yeah, so I remember being super young and like not so much intimidated by everybody else, but I was like, wow, I feel like such a baby. Everybody's like 12 years old. Oh my gosh. But
Yeah, I was 8 when we filmed it as well, and I remember Dominique and I were unable to go to one scene or something because we were too young. Do you remember that, Dominique? we couldn't go to a scene one day or something because we were too young.
Maybe you couldn't ride the dinosaur
something like
ride.
that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think
something
it
where
was
we
definitely.
and
You're definitely in the dinosaur ride, Brittany. I remember seeing you
Oh,
in the
yeah,
front
yeah.
row.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the dancing in the streets one. It was just a tiny little clip that actually came out in the video, but for some reason I remember Dominique and I don't know what it was, but that's how I
Either
remember
like
you
too
were the
short or
youngest.
too young. Something.
Oh, maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
something.
This is Amie, and I'm 25 now, and I think I was probably the oldest there. If maybe Josh or Justin. I don't know how old are you, Justin?
Me, I'm 24.
Okay, so I think I was the oldest, unless Joshua was older than me. But I distinctly remember, this is to Dominique, that Dominique would bring me flowers and cards.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Candy and a card. I remember I wrote you a poem in one of the
Yes.
cards.
Yes.
It was
How
quite the
sweet.
infatuation.
This
was
is Amie.
great.
I remember my mom was like, be nice, he's little, don't hurt his feelings. And I just remember that he would always bring a card, a flower. He'd always want to stand by me. And he was just, I guess, in love with me at the time.
That's so cute.
I remember that very well. I really do.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you guys remember the way that Josh would pick his nose and we would make fun of him?
What? I
want to say yes.
I thought I was the only one that saw that.
I
do
don't
remember
remember that.
Josh, what do you have to say for yourself? Are
Oh
you shooting?
gosh, I hate admitting it, but yeah, I probably did it. I was a young kid back then. It was probably something that I did. I can't say I do it anymore, but it probably did happen once or twice.
Exactly.
Oops.
Man, ganging up on me.
Just so funny. We all remember such different things. Such a strange age to store at memories, because I was definitely in a world of my own that entire time. I'm sorry. I need a report.
Does anybody else? This is Justin. Does anybody else remember the dance on the bridge? Because I remember when we first got ready to do it, they're like, okay, now remember, you got to be really quiet when you're doing this because I think it was either the chimps or the gorillas who were asleep, and they said if we woke them up, that they might try to throw poop at us. So they were like, no, you got to be real quiet.
I remember that. Yes, it's Amie.
And Justin, you were like laughing a little bit, even in the video. I feel like you're kind of like holding back, like you're about to start laughing because that part makes me laugh every time. I remember you trying to act like you were like quiet, but you were about to start cracking up laughing, and they got that in the video. That part makes me laugh every time.
Well, I can't say I wasn't because I am a very well-known jokester. I crack jokes almost 24/7. So I can be serious when I need to be, but 9 out of 10, if I can, I want to crack a joke and have everybody just bawling.
I do remember that, even still.
I do remember that too.
When we were younger.
Actually, one thing I loved was in between scenes when we were moving around the park, we had this rope that we all had to kind of hold on to as we moved to different areas. I think it was a way to keep all of us in line and together. And we had some little song that we sang as we were walking around the park, and in between songs, I can't remember it, but that's the one thing I do remember like the back of my hand was holding on to that rope and singing and dancing with everyone as we were moving around. It's like we couldn't get enough when we were shooting and filming.
And so there's a scene in I think Walk the Dinosaur where you can clearly see that you guys are in somewhat of a greenhouse, it looks like, and that one of the replicas of a Tyrannosaurus Rex is behind you guys. It looks like it was a behind the scenes shot because I guess the park wasn't finished by that time. Do you guys remember being in a greenhouse at all?
I do.
Yeah, it was the scene where we had the bones in our hands, right?
I think it might have been, yeah. You were indoors, definitely. It wasn't the graveyard. But what exactly was that area? Because I'm still baffled because that's not there in the parks that you can go in there or something.
I'm honestly not sure what that was. I remember that it was like a roped-off place. I remember that there were other people there, though. So I don't know if it was like a backstage tour type of a deal. People that were like, I don't know. I just remember that it was roped off, and they were like, "There are children dancing here. Don't come through here." But they were watching us.
I remember that.
Filmed.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember that, but I still, to this day, I couldn't tell you where in the park that is.
This is Amie.
I want to say it was by the T-Rex ride.
Yeah, this is Amie. I think I remember being nervous that there was a lot of people watching us, and I wasn't really sure where they came from. I thought that maybe they were going to come in later to fill in the space and make it like a crowd dancing scene, but they never did. So it's kind of weird. I'm not really sure what that space was, but like they were saying, I remember it was roped off. I remember there were people watching us, and I remember it was enclosed, but that's all I know.
This is Brittany. I don't even remember there being people there, so that's crazy, though.
Yeah, I remember like a crowd of people watching us, and it was really weird because there were like people nowhere else in the park, but then there were a lot of people, so it was strange.
Maybe they were a fake paparazzi.
That's what it was.
Maybe they just wanted an audience for us, so we would dance full out or something. I don't know. I don't even remember there being people. Yeah.
Better give an audience.
Yeah, did you guys get to did you guys get to ride on all of the attractions? Because I didn't see you guys go on the Kali River Rapids and some other things. Like there's the It's Tough to Be a Bug show that's indoors, which is I think why they chose Flick to be the host, because that's still there. It's right in the Tree of Life. But were there any rides that you remember riding that are not in the video?
This is Amie. I don't think so. I think we just did the dinosaur ride and the safari from what I remember.
Yeah, this is just the only rides we really got on was the dinosaur, the safari, and then like in the intro on the train, they had us do that scene like 5 or 6 times. Those are the only ones we actually got on.
I think our parents got to ride all the other rides, if I remember correctly, which is kind of unfair.
Yeah.
I just remember my mom kept coming back to us and being like, "Oh, I rode this. I went in the 3D show," and she was loving it.
Yeah, this is Amie. I remember that the parents were having just as much fun as we were. When we were doing scenes, they were off gallivanting in the park, and we would come back. I remember my mom would be gone, and I would ask where my mom was. Oh, the parents are off doing this or that. So our moms and dads and whoever was there was off enjoying the park just as much as we were.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Our parents were having a blast, and I remember they all got along great. They became best friends within the week that we were doing this, so that was...
Yeah, I remember after we finished filming, they, like, took us all out to karaoke or something. Like, there was a big, like, karaoke bar that we all went out to right when we finished filming, and I remember I couldn't read yet because I was so young, and I didn't know what to do, so I just stood up there with everybody.
I remember that. It was like a jungly restaurant or something. I don't know, I just remember having, like, a lot of trees in a restaurant kind of near Disney somewhere.
Maybe it might have been a Rainforest Cafe. Yeah, there.
I think it was called Jungle Gyms?
Yeah, I remember a name like that. Something like that.
So what was your favorite song from the sing-along?
This is Amie. It's definitely Open the Door, Get on the Floor, Everybody Walk the Dinosaur. That was definitely my favorite one.
Okay, everybody start singing it. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Open the door,
get on the floor, Everybody Walk the Dinosaur.
No way.
That almost worked.
Almost.
Yeah, we were a little off on that one, but we know what we meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
The opening theme song, I think it was the safari. We're going on a safari.
Oh, I was just going to say my favorite song was On Safari, On Safari. I like that one. It's catchy.
Safari, let's find out what it's all about. Hey, sorry. I like this video a little bit too much. I think it's just because I was watching it ahead of time. Anyways. So did you guys get to keep any of your costumes, props? Because I want to know if Joshua kept his hat, and I wanted to know if Kalina, if you kept your camera. That was a pretty nifty camera there, too, by the way.
I did keep the hat, and I actually still have it. I thought it was the coolest looking thing back then, and now I put it on and I'm like, I don't know, not so much, but I still have it. Yep.
Pictures.
I'm pretty
This
sure
is
I
Dominique.
didn't keep it.
I do know for a fact that I kept the hat that I had. I don't know if I was supposed to, so don't tell Disney. I'm not. Yeah, it's been like in my closet for years, and I might actually still have it somewhere, but I know I kept that hat for a very, very long time.
Take a photo with it and send it.
This is great.
Okay.
I definitely still have my overalls and my shirt. I think I have my whole outfit still.
Try to fit back into it. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? My overalls are probably like baby size.
This is Amie. I actually think somewhere I have the entire outfit that I wore for that. I actually think I own some of those pieces, and I know I definitely have the hat somewhere. But who knows where it's at? But I know I definitely have it somewhere.
I think I got a chance to keep the whole outfit too, but if nothing, I know I got to keep the boots that I was wearing. I know I got to keep those.
Oh, good.
Dominique, I remember your hat was a big thing. Like that was one of your big props because you had to keep acting like you were dropping things and stuff. Oh, and your backpack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was too big for you.
They always made him like drop it and act like he was
Clumsy.
falling behind. Yeah.
Yes. The director specifically told him every couple steps, drop something and just keep going. Pick it up, drop it, pick it up, and keep going.
And I remember in the opening train scene, they said whenever I'm like, hey, everybody, wait for me, and I go chase after them, they told me to bump into these two people, and I refused to do it because I thought it was so like mean to run into somebody on purpose. And so I was like, no, I won't do it. And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. They're actors too. And I was like, no, it's mean. My mom says not to. So so I didn't.
Oh.
Dominique, I remember your mom was always so sweet. She was so sweet. And I know my mom and your mom hit it off really well.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Maybe because they were moms of biracial kids. I don't know. They had a lot in common.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Kalina, did you get to keep that camera?
I did not. I don't even remember keeping any of my outfit. So I don't know what happened there, but I don't think I have anything. I think I have a safari hat, but I don't even know if it's from this or not. So I'm not sure. I know I definitely didn't keep the camera.
Because there is one scene with Brittany. Brittany, you're holding like a dinosaur walker thing. Like, you know how they had the stick attached to the dinosaur and you pretend to walk it?
Yes, I remember that. No, I didn't. That was just for that quick scene. They told me to dance around up and down that bridge with it, and I did not get to keep that. So sad.
So do you recall any bloopers, big major bloopers, maybe that you can see in the video that we don't really recognize, or one that maybe was caught on film but we never saw it again?
Well, this is Amie talking, and I actually cannot stand watching myself in this simply because I have a severe problem with mouthing the other person's words and lines. So if you take a close look at any of the filming, if my mouth is moving and I'm not talking, it's because I'm mimicking somebody else's lines because we said it so many times I knew what they were going to say. So I was like uncontrollably mouthing everyone else's lines, and I specifically remember that they had to stop filming several times because I was doing it so noticeably bad. But that's the only blooper that I can really remember.
This is Thea. I remember being a very self-conscious young woman, and during the dinosaur scene, we have to lay down on the sand and make a little sand angel. Do you know the part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fun.
Well, if you watch carefully, you'll see some very white underwear.
No, are you serious?
Oh my goodness, what?
I think there were a couple of bloopers when we were in the pit digging up the bones. I think there were a couple of mishaps on some of the choreography. I think in one scene you can see one of us is swinging. I think it might be Dominique and I. are actually swinging the caveman clubs at one point, and I don't know if one of us goes in an opposite direction. I can't really remember, but I know when I was watching the video the other day that I noticed something like that. So
we actually had specific club choreography, but I didn't know that because I wasn't paying attention. I was just watching the other kids dance. So there's a lot of shots, like wide shots where you can see everybody, where I'm just kind of standing there with my club at my side and not doing anything, just staring at people. That's very blatantly in the actual video. So if you see me staring off into space for no reason, it's because I had no idea that I was supposed to be dancing.
That was
until like
your
the third
role,
time, and they were
Dominique.
like, "Dominique, watch me," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was my starring role."
it's funny looking back, you kind of catch some of those things.
So it's almost been 15 years since you all got to be part of this Disney project. It feels like it was a day ago that I got to watch it for the first time. I don't know about you guys, but I still love watching it and everything. So have you been back to Animal Kingdom since the filming of Flick's Musical Adventure?
This is Amie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, I actually have. And I actually got to ride the new ride, Everest, which was amazing. I really liked it. But I like all Disney parks. I'm a big Disney fan as well.
I haven't been back to Animal Kingdom. I've been to some of the other Disney parks like Magical Kingdom and Epcot, but I have not been back to Animal Kingdom.
This is Brittany. Every time I watch the video, I still get chills to this day because it was just one of those things where you went out to an audition, you know, for a part, and it turned into this. So every time I watch it, I get chills still. I know every song by heart, even if I haven't watched it for years. So I get chills still.
Yeah, it's a good video to watch. No matter how long, like you said, no matter how long it's been, you go back and watch, you're like, wow, you know, I actually did this.
When I first took a look, I was actually really shocked that you were even interviewing us for it because it was so long ago. I thought, you know, no one even cared about that video anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not
To have you, you know, interested in talking with us like we're these huge stars or something, I, you know, was like, wow, someone really cares about this video that we did. You know, it means a lot to us, I'm sure. But just to know that it meant a lot to other people was just really exciting to see. And it's really exciting to be a part of this interview. And, you know, people are going to tune in and want to hear what we have to say and can remember the moments with us that they saw and just get a sneak peek into the actual filming and what we were a part of, which was just amazing. Like Brittany was saying, it was just, it's like surreal. You look at, you know, yourself when you're so young, and like I said, I'm 25 now and I was 10 then, so just to see myself so young and doing this video was crazy.
I think it's kind of cool. This is Dominique. I think it's kind of cool because it's kind of like watching your old baby pictures, but in a cool Disney sing-along video.
Yeah.
In a way. So like you can like pull it out at like family reunions and, oh, remember when he was so little, he was so cute and stuff. And even now, because I'm in my senior year of college now, and that's still kind of my claim to fame, is like, yeah, I was in a Disney sing-along video once, no big deal. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What you were saying, Amie, there has been 43,000 views on the one video on YouTube that's been posted only for a year now. So that's just
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's just one view of how big of
good.
how many fans you have, and it's not your group is amazing, and then they have 3 other groups of kids that got to film in the Disney parks other than Animal Kingdom because Animal Kingdom wasn't open at that time, and it seems like all of you guys are very popular with the kids who grew up in the 90s and the 80s because that's what they grew up with, these tapes. So of course, I would love to speak for everyone. I can't. But since I grew up with the tape, I want to thank y'all because I love watching it. And even when I go back to the parks, I'm like, hey, this is where they filmed. Oh, this is where they filmed, you know, something like that. And people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you need to watch the sing-along tapes, you know. And I think they should make another one with you guys in it again. But
That would be awesome.
I don't know how they would do it.
The adult years.
Yes. The reunion, the adult years.
That would be fun. So, can each of you tell us what you've been up to since the video? I know it's been 15 years, but if you want to tell us, like, what's the big project you guys are working on now?
Well, this is Amie, and I actually put away the acting and modeling around 15. I actually just wanted to take a break and focus on, I guess, quote-unquote normal life without going to auditions and all of that. And I am actually continuing my education at UCF, and I'm currently working as a student outreach services employee. I'm a team assistant there. While I'm going to school, I'm doing an interdisciplinary degree, and I have 2 majors, which would be behavioral and social sciences and education, and then 2 minors that are going to be communication sciences and disorders and business. Actually, just before you messaged me, I was actually preparing to try to get back into acting, modeling, in some form. I haven't actually got around to doing it yet, but it was just before you messaged me that I was kind of thinking about all the stuff I had done and kind of missing it. I had taken a long enough break that I kind of want to, go on auditions and see how I do now that I'm older, and, I could possibly do different, more mature parts and things like that, but right now, I'm not doing any acting and modeling. I would like to maybe possibly get back into it in the near future. But right now, just going to school, working, and just doing the normal thing at 25.
This is Brittany. Like I said earlier, I started dancing at the age of 3. So when this gig came along, it was just another audition that I went on. I wasn't necessarily an actress, or I didn't do those kind of things. I just went on a bunch of auditions for dancers. And this was the best of both worlds because I got to do a little of both. And so I've been dancing ever since. I danced at my college. I danced for the Orlando Predators for 3 years. And I am currently an Orlando Magic dancer. So I dance for my hometown team, still in Orlando. And still doing the whole dancing thing. I graduated from college, so now it's pretty much just work and dance, but I never stopped dancing, so that's me.
Well, I'm no longer doing any acting. I probably continued to do acting and modeling till the end of middle school, early high school, and then I kind of missed my friends and just being a normal kid and playing sports, and so went through high school, played a lot of tennis, went to college and played some tennis up in Georgia. And I've stayed in Florida and went in after I graduated, I moved down to Tampa where I currently work. So no more modeling and acting, but it was a great experience and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Hi, I'm Dominique. I am still doing like the acting, singing thing. Like I said, I'm in my senior year of college. I'm a musical theater major in college, so still totally doing the acting, singing thing. For the most part, I'm focusing mainly on school because, again, it's my last year. But this past summer, I was at Busch Gardens in their new show that they opened. And I'm also going to be, it's all been about Disney, but I'm actually working at Universal this Christmas in their Grinchmas event. Sorry, you can edit that out. I'm working in theme parks still. So yeah, I'm still doing the entertainment thing, and it's cool. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing now at 21.
Get back to Disney. You could be a star
I will.
actor.
I go straight there.
This is Kalina. I actually, after this, probably not too long after, I probably just did it for a couple more years, that acting and auditioning stuff, and then I kind of did, just kind of got out of it, and then since then, I went to college at University of Florida, and then I am in pharmacy school, so I'll be getting my doctorate in pharmacy in May. So
That's awesome.
That's me.
Congrats.
So, thanks. So I'll be excited when I'm done. It's been a long time in school. So.
Hi, this is Justin. I kept up with the acting for a little while after this went. This ended. I want to say I was just getting ready to start high school when all the acting and modeling jobs that I was getting started to die down. They say, unquote, I was no longer in the cute phase. So I really didn't get any more acting or modeling jobs after that. I just focused on school. Then I graduated high school and went on to college for a in engineering, and then had to stop because I had to help my family out. But now I'm back in, college now, and I'm working on my bachelor's degree for electrical engineering technology.
Let's see. So I just graduated in May from a school called Marlborough College in Vermont. I got a dual degree, one in photography, another in literature. I did acting all throughout high school. I went to a boarding school for it, and I was focusing more on theater, less on commercial and television acting. I decided to pursue something different for college, broaden my perspectives a little bit, stop thinking about myself so much as the show sort of hints at. I'm just kidding. But so now I have an internship at a gallery in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and I teach photography to middle school years students at an after-school program.
Just a little fun fact for you guys. As we were talking about earlier, this is Brittany. As we were talking about earlier, how those kids on the front of the cover are not us. My mom, whenever she would find them, because they used to have our videos at Walmart and some other places, my mom would flip the video that was in the front of all the other videos and turn it around to the back, so it was us actually showing. She's crazy. Yeah, she's crazy.
Really, thank you.
So every place that our video was at, the front one was always flipped around to the back where it was us actually on it.
Funny.
Nice.
This is Justin. Speaking of the video, Brittany, I just remember something. My dad, after it came out, he was trying to figure out why it wasn't us on the front too. I think he made like a phone call and figured out they didn't put our pictures on the front because they didn't want anybody to hassle us while we were going around trying to do normal stuff. So I think he told me that they had our pictures actually on the front of the video, but it was like in another state, and then the kids from that state were like on ours down here.
So weird. Because they did have a blonde girl that kind of looked like me, and I think there was another kid that kind of looked like Dominique, I don't know. I think they had just had kids that looked like us, but they weren't us. It was very odd.
But I hope all you guys get to come together in Animal Kingdom at one time or another in a couple years from now and just go to the boneyard, and as Amie, I think it was Amie or Dominique said, just do the dinosaur dance.
Yeah. You're going to be there, right?
What we'll do.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, come and meet with us.
Oh, I would love to. I'm honored. They invited me, guys. Oh my gosh, yes. Of course, yes. Because I know the dance too. And I know the song. So, yeah, I'm in. All the way through, yes.
Perfect.
Woohoo. And then we'll make a video, and then it will go viral. Anywho, well, we have come to the close of our interview, but I think the only way we could really play out of this interview is sing Walk the Dinosaur like we did earlier.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay, ready? Here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3. Open the door, get on the boat, everybody walk the dinosaur.
Everybody walk the dinosaur.
You know what? I think we should each sing it by ourselves. I'll just sing. Maybe we can sing the beginning because that's all I can remember.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
We remember.
All right. This is Amie. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Boom, boom, shaka-laka-laka, boom, 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 shaka-laka, boom, boom.
Yay!
Boom, boom, shaka-laka, boom.
Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom.
Everybody walk the dinosaur. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Boom, boom, like a boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, like a boom. Boom, boom, like a boom, boom.
This picture's gotta win. Look at that guy.